everyone.
Hello, hello,
Well,
hello.
at the moment there's 0 people watching, but there will be soon, and a lot of people will go back to the very beginning. What do you think? What do you think of our old face painting today? Then
I think you've smashed that one, Terry.
I think you smashed it, Beth. I think you look
You
absolutely
do,
amazing.
dude. I love you. This guy here, whichever way.
Way.
Honestly, I wish I'd met him sooner. Brother from another mother, I think, is a fucking absolute cracker of a human being.
Thank you, darling.
And more people need to be more like you, Tez. They need to take a leaf out of your book.
Well, I think there is something that you'd like to bring up right away. So if we
Exactly.
do that, special guest.
I obviously left the magnet fishing community for mental health reasons and also personal. Long battle with losing my granddad, which was my, full well that I got into magnet fishing and I do this all for him in his honour because he was an archaeologist, etc. So I left, took a break, left, the bad situation that triggered me daily. I didn't want to be here anymore because of certain people continuing bullying people privately. That's not what I'm about. Go to the horse face to face, head on head. Got a problem with someone, you speak to them direct.
Absolutely.
And I'll be one. As people know in the magnet fishing community, I'll go straight to the horse's mouth. And I don't can I swear?
You can do.
I don't fuck about. But recently, some 60, 70 something year old bitter man has found it upon himself because I blocked him after a person I used to magnet fish with made me aware that he was sending inappropriate messages to other magnet fishers and people in the community, but also commenting on my videos as a subscriber himself, inappropriate messages regarding myself and my daughter. So I obviously was replying with a, respectful manner. As a subscriber, you say thank you, no matter what they say. However, he brought this issue to light, a certain person I used to fish with, that it was making people among the community uncomfortable. So I said to him, what do I do? In my way, instead of expanding the drama, I blocked him. But this other person took it out of their own wit to reach out and message this person and video message them. I have no idea what went on in the conversation, but as of late, issues we've had that have come to light and people have come to me, utter bullshit. Come to me, speak to me. I have screenshots. It's going further, but not going into detail and take the effect away from tonight and obviously celebrating Halloween and mental health. It will be dealt with, but the message is saying the feeling you get when someone who you at least expected sent you a friend request. I was reaching back out to clear the air and put an olive branch out there, although I shouldn't have even had to do that I can reflect on now, as I haven't done anything wrong. But it's triggering when you get stuff like they say that some people had the memory of a goldfish. In a certain person's case, the goldfish's memory is a damn sight better. Can I just say that I have learning difficulties and I'm classed as clinically and legally disabled with my ADHD and autism. So just take a deep look and think to yourself in the mirror. Seems there is no escaping a poisonous little rat. Be careful of what shows up on YouTube search, folks. Take a deep look at yourself in the mirror and practice your positive affirmations. I am a piece of shit right now and bitter old man, but I'm going to work on that and I can be a better person, because that's what magnet fishing is about. Being better, doing better. When you're at that point where you're at the peak of life, like me and Terry, we can help other people to uplift themselves and feel that they are ready to help others and spread love. So there's no hate here. I spread nothing but love, but just take this from me. Pass love on. Do not give hate. That's not what magnet fishing is about.
Absolutely right. Unfortunately, Beth, no one can watch this right now. I've had about 15. I've had about 15 messages saying, "What's the matter with your live? No one can join." So now we know why there's still a fat 0 in the corner.
Do you want me to share it on mine? Should I do it from mine?
Oh, I don't understand what I've done wrong.
6 foot. Have you shared it? You've done it as a recording, haven't you?
Yes, I started it as private and then I went live. It's still private.
Don't just start. You're in the show. Start it. Refresh it.
I'm doing it now. Putting it public. Save changes. That beginning bit will stay on, won't it?
No.
Will it not?
You need to share it. Do you want me to do it from?
I've just done it, Beth. I've literally just changed it. It's public now. But now,
so if I go on to Essex, hang on, Essex.
Yeah, go on.
Let me double check. This is it, though. We've got to get used to it. It's such a good platform, but we've got to learn the ins and outs. I go on to Essex. Oh yeah, we're live now. There we go.
We're live. We're live, and we've got 9 people watching. We do apologise, everyone. We do apologise. We had a technical error at the beginning, and it was still on private. So we have publicised it now. You have only missed 5 minutes and the introduction. We don't need to go through the introduction again, but I think Beth.
Can everyone share it? That's the main.
Absolutely, likes and shares, that'd be awesome. Thank you, everyone, because I've never done my own makeup before.
Look good. You're rocking it.
Indy done it for me, so
Indy?
I was. It ain't red; it's pink. But anyway, before we invite our very special guest on, we're going to run through it again because we was on private. Beth would like to have a couple of minutes of your time. So
do I go over what I've just spoken about?
I think you should, Beth, just in case that it's not recorded.
So, gosh, what did I start with? Where did I start? I left magnet fishing through mental health reasons that I don't have to share with everyone because it's private to me, but some know. Some very close people that I used to fish with and I put my trust and faith in. At the time being, but they went, about it the wrong way. I'm not one to slag people like a good person like Terry behind their back without knowing them. And I left the as they call group, but movement. Leaving that movement, I was told before leaving that a certain someone that I fished with and I classed as a best friend at the time had spoken to a gentleman about some issue that he felt that he had to talk to him. I was not aware at the time, but he spoke to him one-on-one, this gentleman that I used to fish with, to another gentleman regarding some comments that he made on my YouTube regarding myself, but also my, at the time, 5.5, 6-year-old daughter. So, yes, I don't know what went on in that conversation. I still don't know to this day, and I never probably will know. But all I know is that I'm a good person with a massive heart, as Terry can tell. We had a piggy in the middle, poison in both sides, and there was never really an issue, was it, Tez?
No, there wasn't.
But this person's now slandering me publicly. He tried it with Tez on your live, didn't he? And now he's saying about it, obviously last night. I didn't watch the whole thing, but that will be added to the case. But I'm just going to, I've had about 60, 70 people over the last 4 months reach out to me with screenshots, screen recordings, or everything. They say that some people have the memory of a goldfish. Is that because I'm blonde? In a certain person's case, the goldfish's memory is a damn sight better.
It's nasty, and that's
feeling that you get when someone least expects it, and you send a friend request. I tried putting an olive branch out there to certain people because they were being spread lies. As we know, I've got proof. But the worst one was quite threatening. So obviously, I just wanted to mention that it's not okay to bully people. And that I fully personally support the Lundini movement. If you don't know what that is, please go look and check it out, because them guys work with the government. So bullying is not okay. If someone's suicidal and you don't know about it, some people stay in silence because to them, that's their way of dealing with it. Don't push them over the edge. And especially if you're an old man, and a little bit bitter because I blocked you because of what you were saying regarding me and my daughter.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
call me
what.
man,
Yeah,
because I'm not a man, Beth. I'm only joking. Go on.
exactly. But a certain so and so that I used to fish with spoke with this individual that people are aware of, and I went out before prior to the person that I used to fish with. I blocked this person to stop further comments. It didn't offend me in the moment. I was made aware by one person that I used to fish with and stay at his house that it made the community, the whole community, uncomfortable, and that he had had complaints. So he went about it and went out and reached out to this person himself, not me, nothing to do with me. I have nothing. What I have no idea or recollection of what went on. So legally aside, I'm not physically involved, but I'm involved when it comes to me and my now 7-year-old daughter. So
Absolutely.
it is logged and it's being kept safe. And if there's any more stuff that I see or get sent, then it will be going very, very further. And it's not acceptable. And if anyone's going through this, please reach out to me and Terry, and I can lead you in the best direction. I've got a lot of legal links with the police and the military and Lindini and everything. So I can't fund it, but I can direct you in the right way.
That's it.
100%.
No, I think that was an important thing. It was an important message. It had to be said.
And if you're
Well,
watching, there you go.
be the bigger person, Beth. Be
I am.
the better person.
I am. I'm just saying though, that was very.
You are. I
That was,
know, and he's hurt
yeah.
you, but he hurt me. He hurt
Petty
Essex man
cash. It's like,
without us even doing anything wrong to the man. But
yeah,
let's
petty
draw
cash.
a line now. Let's draw a line. I'm glad it's been said, but let's draw a line and let's carry on with tonight's festivities. So
Tonight is about.
absolutely wonderful. Thank everyone for joining. Look how many we've got. 24 in the chat, Beth. So
Bing bang
thank
bosh.
you so much, guys. Honestly, from
But
the
I
bottom
just
of my
wanted
heart.
to also say before we bring the special guest in, Terry, you have changed my aspect and outlook on life. You've given me hope. No, seriously, you've given me hope that I and other people can bet themselves, not just mentally, physically, but as a human being and a soul. You've helped me forgive and forget for what people's bullshit and lies, and look past that. You are worthy of everything. And guys, I really want you to, if any of my subs are watching tonight, please subscribe, because he and on Facebook, he's just a beautiful person. He really is, inside and out.
Thank you, darling. No, I
You
appreciate
know, I
that.
support you, even like through anything legal. I got you. I
No,
found myself a brother.
absolutely, absolutely. So come on in. Let's have
Let's
a
do
vote.
it.
Let's have a look.
Let's
What
do
do you
it.
reckon, people? Because I couldn't get red. It's pink. So I've
Yeah,
got a
but
pink
look,
smile.
I
I've got a
like
pink
it.
nose, pink eyes. But this is the Joker from the last Joker, Beth, the one with the mental health
The one with
problems.
the mental health. That's the
I thought
best
it was
Joker there's ever been.
the
Yeah,
only
but I
thing.
like it because you put your own spin on it. I think you suit green hair as well.
I'm not bloody keeping it. I'm telling you that now.
I'm quite
Tonight, I
tempted,
will.
you know.
For tonight, I'll keep it, and I'm glad I've made the effort. And quite ironic, really, me playing a clown when most of the time when I do smile, it is a fake smile. But good
Exactly.
things have been happening to me, Beth, as you well know. A lot of our
That's
viewers
because you're a
are
good
unaware.
person.
But in the last 4 weeks since our episode 1, I've had quite a lot of good things happen to me, and let's just hope that they continue, because I have been given an extra belief and a hope that maybe I have got a
Everything,
positive life.
patience is a virtue.
Absolutely,
Good things
absolutely.
come to those who wait and those that can forgive. And when they fuck up and they put their hands up and say, "I messed up."
I'm not Christian, as everyone knows. I'm not. I'm an atheist at best. But if Jesus could forgive, right? He forgave everyone that tortured him. Every one of them Roman soldiers that nailed him to a cross.
Yeah.
He come back and he forgave. because he was in God's form. And if you know, if something like that can happen, that's so miraculous. And I'm not saying that I'm Christian, I'm really not. But
Yeah.
there are stuff in there. There is stuff in them testaments that there is to believe, and everyone deserves forgiveness. You know, I'm not saying multiple times, but if you can forgive someone in your heart, that makes you a better person. And
Even if it's really regarded.
I'm not meaning it as a dig, but West, Chris, and Bobby, I love you so much. Just my kids, everyone. Right. So anyway, we're gonna go on because we've got our special guest. And
let's bring this up. This is a gem of the community. This is the one guy that is held and will forever hold my utmost respect within the magnet fishing community. Never change a story or a side.
Absolutely, we're one of the most genuine people I've ever known.
He's incredible, and his wife.
Can't wait to meet you on one, and that goes with you as well, Beth. But the first person in the chat to guess who our special guest is, I found 5 Essex Magnet Hunter stickers. So
I'll send
I'm going to send the person an Essex Magnet Hunter's glossy sticker. So
I've got a pink Magnetar cap that I'll send as well.
Oh yeah, you got that. You got the pink ones, didn't you?
I don't do hats, so yeah, they can have that as well.
Okay, well there you go. The first person
they can have a collab with us as well down your way. Let's do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna be opening up to about 200 magnet fishers. So in the spring, we're not gonna do it over the winter months. But without further ado, everyone, we're going to bring on our special guest. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the chat and see who mentions it first. Right, welcome, my friend.
Hello.
Well, that went well, didn't it? Because your name's in the bottom of the screen.
Fantastic.
I think you won it, Scotty.
I like it.
Yeah, you both look good.
The first one, in fact, was the Secrets of the Thames Magnet Fishing. So, shortly followed by Dave from Adventures with Sonic and Friends.
Sonic, do you know what? He messaged me last night. He's a darling.
I think that's Phil Harwood, Secret of the Thames. Phil, I think you've already got an Essex Magnet.
Phil's lovely. Phil Harwood.
If you haven't, I'll send you one. But even if you're not, you're going to get a pink Magnetar cap, mate. So
and a little Miss Magnet. So on.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
There you go.
So how you doing, Scott?
I'm doing really good, really good. Thank you both. Thank you both for having me.
It's a pleasure. You have our utmost respect amongst a lot of people in the community. We think you are incredible.
Thank you.
I've messaged you when times were hard, and honestly, Scotty had my back.
Yeah. No, I did the same as well, and that was over about a year ago now, Scott, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're friends through thick and thin, and we might not have met each other yet. But I was watching from afar, mate, and I did see that you had a wonderful collaboration that you done in Manchester. What was that like, mate? I mean, you had quite a lot turn up, didn't you? It looked like it was a fantastic turnout.
It was absolutely brilliant, and like I said, I was planning it for about a year and a half, 2 years. Pandemic come along, it got cancelled. I knew I always wanted to do a 24-hour one, whether it be just myself and a couple of others. But I thought, you know what, with the community being that vast now, when people getting into it, I thought I'll open it to everybody and anybody can come along, join. And then it finally happened, at the end of September, and the publicity side of it blew me away, because I had messages, from media. I've had recent messages since it's been over about people wanting to do stories on it. Even one from New York.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot been going on afterwards, and I've had a couple of negatives as well. I must admit. Yeah, I had a couple of messages off a couple of people. One of them wasn't. Yeah, one of them wasn't intended for me, but it ended up being sent to me. And it was basically saying that there was too many clicks there, and it wasn't a good event, although these people only turned up for a few minutes. And yeah, tried to slate it through sending it to someone else, but they sent it to me, you know, instead. So yeah, but that aside, you know, I was absolutely buzzing, and I'm very thankful for people for turning up.
Yeah,
You know,
obviously.
people come from afar just to actually be a part of it, whether they actually dipped a magnet or not. You know, they actually come
But
afar.
you made sure that the entire environment and the vibe was good. We turned up, we were lost. Scotty came and found us and walked us back to the place. He made sure we were safe and we had like a spot. He made sure we were fed through. Thank you, Chris from Magnet Store, my affiliation for. We found them pieces.
I was rather jealous because obviously I went to the Outcast collab and it was a fantastic collab. Hats off to but we got these horrible little pub grub little rolls with either a bit of sausage, a bit of bacon, or a bit of egg. Although, you know, anything was appreciated, and I don't want to seem that, you know, selfish. But what you guys got, you got Domino pizzas, you got McDonald's, and then at the end of the day, mate, when was that right? I saw that you had this beautiful glass plaque for organising the whole event, and then
yes,
surprised
something that I did not know about. Yeah, and a drone as well.
Unbelievable. Have you used it yet?
I've charged it up. That's as far as I've got, and then read the instructions. I'm waiting for the weather to die down a bit because over this end it's absolutely torrential.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even the day afterwards, even the Monday afterwards, it was absolutely leathering it down with rain in Manchester.
Yeah.
You know, so we're quite blessed with having that Sunday, which were boiling.
It was lovely.
Well, anyway, when we reached out to you, Scott, and you know, you was willing enough to be our first special guest.
Thank you for joining us.
You also said to me that there was something close to your heart that you'd like to talk about tonight. If you'd like to do that right now, mate, that'd be wonderful, and I'm sure everyone's all ears.
Yeah. When I spoke to both of you, I think Beth knew a bit about my past, and then Terry, you were brand new to obviously listening to a few things. But now we're on the subject of like mental health. What I'd like to talk about is my mental health and how I have dragged myself up from rock bottom to obviously be where I am now. So it all started off as you do when you're younger. And I've got recollections of some of my first memories of domestic violence in the household between, obviously, my mum and dad. My dad's never been around. He's always been too busy to do other things, you know, and bother with anything like that. And I needed a father figure. Do you know what I mean? Because I was quite wayward as a kid. I was quite, I used to look with my hands and I used to, you know, be inquisitive. And obviously it caused a lot of problems at home because I was that sort of child. I was quite wayward and a bit straightforward. So my mum, when my dad left finally at like 4 years old, my mum turned to religion. So religion was a massive part of me growing up. And my mum is still, and what she was practicing back then, the Jehovah's Witness. Okay. So that was integrated to me and my brother. Now, I wasn't really interested in it, but it made my mum happy. But at the age of like 9-year-old, I mean, I'm still a kid. At the age of 9-year-old, I said, no more, I can't. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested in it. And it caused a massive problem at home because obviously, you know, I'm still a child and my mum still wanted to practice what she practiced, but she couldn't go to certain things because I weren't willing to go, etc. So it caused a massive rift between me and my mum. And I started to rebel, as you do. So it come to like, primary school, I was rebelling a lot. Come to high school, same. Did a lot of horrible things which I'm not really proud of. Basically the streets was my family. And it comes to a point where I'd rather be on the streets with my mates. I'd rather sleep on the streets than actually go home. And the amount of times I've slept in a bush or in a bus shelter, because I was embarrassed with my actions as well to bring it home to my mum. And it comes to a point where police were knocking at the door. Where's Scott? Yeah. And I was slightly embarrassed, but I was really streetwise. Too advanced in my years to be streetwise. I was doing things which grown men were doing, and I'm not proud of it one bit. But I ended up starting a job, which was a milk round, and that sort of got me on a bit of a straight and narrow because I had a bit of responsibility then. Mm-hmm. So this milk round, it got taken over by this couple, and I was working with the female, and then other people were working with her husband. And what she was doing was grooming me, and this was like 11-year-old.
Oh my word!
Oh,
when you think about what I got taught back then as a child is nothing compared to what's out there now. You were sworn to silence.
Yeah.
You was threatened with violence, and you was told that you're a piece of shit, and you were told just because you're an age and you're a minor, you will never be believed. I'm an adult. I tell you what's going on. And this is the hold that this person had hold of me, and it went on for 3 years. Yes, it did. But back then, when you think about dirty paedophilia and paedophiles, back then it was just a case of a dirty old man, flashing and that lot. Back then, because I'm 41 now. So back then, when you're younger, you would not expect a female who should be nurturing to actually groom a child who's only just obviously coming to puberty.
Yeah.
Breaking in society.
Yeah,
men are capable of what women are capable of. Vice versa. We are equals.
Yeah, and looking back at it now, it absolutely angers me. But back then, doing the work that I do, I'll get onto that later, my work that I do and what I have been doing after all this. Mm-hmm. But she spun a web that tight that there was me and other kids working, but she got rid of them, so I was singled out. So I was the only one left with her. Now, obviously, I didn't have a good relationship back then with my mum because we was always butting heads, and I couldn't. Yeah. My dad wasn't around, so I couldn't actually speak to him about it. So I was basically on my own, and it affected my school. I didn't do my GCSEs. I ended up having my mum noticed a difference, but obviously I can't say because I'll tell you the exact words of what this female said. I will not.
Comfortable doing that?
Yes, yeah. She said, I will never be believed. Keep your mouth shut, because if you ever say anything, then you will get split up from your mum. You will get taken into care. You will never see your brother again, and you'll never see your mum. And your mum will be arrested because she should have done a better job.
Oh, so it terrified you.
And Scotty, you are way above and better than that. You're one of the best human souls and beings that I've ever met.
Yeah, thank you.
That's heartbreaking.
And Mrs. B, you're beautiful.
Yeah. And
go on. Keep going, mate. Keep going.
I've kept all that in all the way through my teenage years, and it come to a point where they just disappeared. So what they did, I mean, there's other things as well. I'll fill you in on another thing as well. That she used to ring my house and then obviously say to my mum, "Oh, I need to speak about the milk round. Is Scott about?" And then she'd be like, "Oh no, he's out with his mates and that." And she used to get really angry because I had friends that were females. Now this is a grown woman. This woman was, I believe, back then, I think she was in her late 30s, and I was 11.
Oh my word!
Do you know what I mean? And she's getting angry that I'm having a friendship with my friends, and it was like jealousy, which was really
it's manipulation.
Yeah,
she'll manipulate you.
Yeah, and what she used to do is turn up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, throw stones at my window, and turn up a bit drunk as well. And then, you know, I'm not going to be a bit graphic here, but you know, it was the grooming of a sexual nature, you know. And I was having sex at 11 years old, you know, and it was a case of it was all the time, it was constant, and you know, this put a massive pressure on me as a person, because I'm still learning and developing as coming into my teenage years, and this person's crushing it. And you know, this is the wall of silence that people need to be aware of, that it needs to be broke, because they're an adult, you're a child. I mean, just that statement, you're a minor, you are underage, this person is an adult, they should know better. You know, even just that, no matter how you dissect it, you know, she knew what she was doing. But worst part about it as well was her husband knew what was going on. Because there were times when I used to stay at their house, and you know, the story that I had to tell my mum was, oh, we had to get up early to go and load the milk van. But she just wanted me to, like, a little plaything at the house. And he used to like go upstairs, and I don't know if he was listening or stuff like that.
He probably knew. It's quite a common thing within grooming people nowadays, especially within a certain community.
Yeah.
They will bring girls within a small circle, and especially family or like extended family, and do it that way, and make them accustomed that they mentally think, especially if they're rescued. Like, follow Pegasus Ops. He works in human and child trafficking within the UK on TikTok. He saves children that their families have basically groomed them to think that it's okay for that to happen within the family.
Yeah,
it's still disgusting. And for you to have to go through that, no, that's not okay.
No, it didn't. And but back then it was a case of, because I was really streetwise, she knew that I ain't gonna run to my mum. She knew that I didn't have no adults around me. She knew that
she knew you were vulnerable.
Yeah, she knew that, and that was probably why I was chosen. Yeah, and obviously that happened for like 3 years, and it come to a point where she even rang up one night, and sorry, my cat's trying to even rang up one night, and she wanted to do a packed suicide just so we could all be together, me, the husband, and her, which was very, I mean, thinking back at it now, you know, it's absolutely crackers,
shocking,
and absolute bonkers, because who in the right mind, you know, looks at a child that way, for starters? Who in the right mind, you know, progresses it to this stage, and then,
you know what I mean? It's, oh my word, mate.
And I even said, like, to her on the phone, I said, I'm not doing it. And apparently she took a load of tablets, and she had to have medical assistance. So I think that's the reason why they disappeared. I don't really know. Anyway, so when I still had all this on my shoulders, and I moved out the family home when I was 16, I got my own place. And for 2 years, you know, I was still the broken person. You know, I was still the why me? What's going on? But I thought, you know what? It's been ingrained in me. No one's ever going to, you know, help me. No one's ever going to, because back then it weren't even talked about. And for a fact that a female was doing it was unheard of.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, because you obviously go for the other sex, the male, you know, who's going to be doing all this to young girls, you know, and stuff like that. But obviously, you know, in the last 10 years,
a woman doing that was it wasn't out there. Like no one could look at a woman and think, oh, she'll be behind an oven, not do this kind of thing. But no, it's on both sides.
It is, absolutely.
It is, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to get on with my life. I've got my own place now. I'm in full-time work because I wanted to go in the army. I wanted to disappear from where I lived. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could tell you about where I lived and what I used to get up to, which was hence why police was knocking at the door. But just sticking on the aspects of like the grooming side of it. It comes to a point where this code of silence that these horrible people are putting pressure on people and minors it's not, even if it's a minor, but even people in general who put this pressure onto people to keep their mouth shut, it needs to be broken. It needs to be educated into schools fast, you know. And I know it is these days, but back then, primary school and high school, there was absolutely nothing. I mean, now these days, they have counsellors at school. They didn't have counsellors at that. And when I was like 15 and these disappeared, I went into a massive depression state because this person had gone, left, you know, and just basically left me to get on with it. And I went into a massive spiral of depression to the point where my mum's like, "What's up with you, Scott?" And obviously I'm not going to say. And I had to go see a child psychiatrist at 15-year-old because I didn't want to engage with anybody. I didn't want to go out with my friends. I thought everybody was talking about me, very, very paranoid, thinking that you're a piece of shit, that you've just been picked up and left on the floor. You've been made to feel like that for 3 years. You've been abused in every single aspect of your life for 3 years. And I should be out enjoying myself with my friends and having massive teenage years full of memories. And I didn't because of this.
They took that from you.
Yeah. And like I say, it affected my schoolwork. I mean, I wasn't really one for going to school anyway. But,
but they make you feel like you are not worthy of speaking up.
Yeah.
They silence you basically through manipulation.
Yeah. It's like they've got this, like I've got this makeup on here. It's like a zip. Pulled a zip right across. Just like, shh.
Yeah.
You know, it just needs to be unzipped. Everyone needs to realise that you are a human being. You're not a piece of crap. You are not worthless, you know, and you are strong people who can stand up and say, do you know what? Not today. I'm not having it anymore. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to control this situation from now on. I'm going to tell you how it's going to roll, you know. And there's a lot of things in my character that I've had to build. I've got more layers than an onion. You know, I've had to peel back for people, but I will only peel back only a certain amount until I can fully trust you. Trust has been a massive issue in my life. And
but you are so worthy of being trusted, Scott. I trusted you when I was in a position that I couldn't trust anyone, even the person that I was in company with. You looked after me.
Yeah, thank you.
You're an amazing human being.
You know, when our Matt was going through his thing, you know, and with family situations and that, like you were the only one that like kept in control of that and like messaged me and but this is what
I still do. I get when people have busy lives, but you and your family are worthy, and I respected you when I got told by my closest not to. Like you have my utmost respect.
Yeah,
you always will. no matter
And
what.
That's what it's got to be. And, you know, just going right off the subject of myself and obviously coming to you, Beth, that
It's all about me. It's all about, you know, helping
no,
you guys.
it's what you said at the beginning as well, that how
So
dare someone make you feel like you're a piece of shit? How dare somebody?
just because I blocked them, but it was a certain someone that spoke to him, and obviously, even to this day, for example, last night continues because I said no. A bit of jealousy goes a long way.
But it's this what I mean, we'll get to the subject of probably the other topic and that lot, but what I look at and what I see when I see a bully is that I see that these people do not like themselves. I see that these people have got a very sad life to the point where, to the point where, do you know what? I am going to crush a person to nothing just for shits and giggles because I'm a dick. And that's what people, when I look at somebody, I look at their heart. I don't look at who they roll with.
Or the past.
I just look at, are they a good person? And you know what? We can look at somebody and we do not know what's gone on behind their eyes. Right? And I mean, I've got massive trust issues with people, but I tell you what, nobody will ever control me like that person did in my life, ever. And when I met Mrs. B, like, I mean, coming up.
She's a diamond. I love Mrs. B.
It's coming up to 23 years. 23 years we've been together.
Wow.
This year. In fact, this month, is it? What we in now? No, next month, sorry. It'll be 23 years. I hope you're not listening. It'll be 23 years this year. But when I
1999 or 1998?
98, yeah. When I first met Mrs. B, people say like you gel with somebody, you know, and that's what I did with Mrs. B. I gelled with her straight away, and she gelled with me. And
your Mrs. B has got heart. Like, honestly, Scotty, if I could be anyone, I'd be Mrs. B mixed with a little bit of Hannah from White Welly, because they are bloody beautiful human beings. You and Mrs. B, perfect. If I could have the perfect parents, it would be you guys. You got hearts of gold, and she's gorgeous. She looked after me. She's seen the truth. You guys, you know, you guys support every side, and that's what I love about you both. You're just real. You keep it 100 all the time.
All you can do is
there's
try.
there's no airs and graces with me. There's no horse shit, you know. It comes to a point where if you're a nice person, I will give you the shit off my back. I will open my door and let you sleep in my spare room. If you're a dick, no chance. Not a chance, because I'm not having that negativity around me. I'm not having negativity around Mrs. B, and I'm not having it around my family whatsoever. But you know what? I've been molded into that because of the thing that's happened to me when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to people that no matter how old you are, if something bad has happened to you, you're still within your right to go forward, get it registered, go to the police, and eventually, if need be, go to a court and get it, not necessarily as like criminal, get it sorted that way, but get it off these shoulders. Because there was three things I told Mrs. B about my past when we first got together, because I didn't want no bullshit. I was an angry person back then. I was a person that I needed to be quiet and on my own because I was going through something in my head. But I could say that to Mrs. B, and she understood and she respected that.
She loved you.
And she knows that I might need a day to myself. She knows when, say, like, I mean, this is like a really, really stupid situation. It might sound really stupid to people, but just a little thing like, oh, you know, do you fancy going shopping and that lot? And I think, do I really want to be around people today? Because they're going to annoy me. and I'm going to get annoyed. I'm going to spoil the day for us both. So I said, you know what? I'll sit this one out because I know little things like that, but this is the respect that we have for each other to know, not necessarily know what each other's thinking, but know how our behaviours and know what's right and what's wrong. And then she knows when my head has physically popped and I might be down for 3 days. You know, I'll be sat in my bed, I will be in the back garden or whatever. She knows that my head has gone. So
and
then
she respects your space. That's a really good quality.
Yes.
She just loves you. So she works around every corner of you because she loves you for the whole of you.
Yeah, and that's
nothing more.
I've got for people.
When I met her, honestly, Scotty, I couldn't put a better couple together. That's if I ever meet someone, I want it to be. I want what you and Mrs. B have. She is a beautiful human being as yourself. Like I have the utmost respect for the both of you and your family.
You know what? She has been my rock. There's been times when, I mean, I've not always been true to the. How can I put it? Back when I was younger, you know, yes, I was involved with the police and stuff like that because you know, being arrested when you were younger, being you know, criminal damage or whatever you was up to at the time. But Mrs. B has always been, you know, the person that's been my rock, and has said to me, Scott, right, you need to have a think about this because you start having these silly thoughts. And I've always said to people, still to this day, that nobody on this planet will ever control me like that person did, and I will never ever allow it. And I've looked at the devil in his eyes numerous times, and I've said, "Not today, devil." I mean, people could take that as a way of saying, "Not today." Like, I don't want to be here, or "Not today." It's not going to ruin my life, or "Not today." In another aspect of right now, I'm in control of the situation. And it comes to a point with obviously with both of you and what you guys have been through, that we all have our demons. We all have our, I mean it's quite ironic we're dressed as Halloween people, but you know, we all have our demons and people cannot tell what's going on behind a closed door and behind what people's eyes.
And shouldn't assume that everything's okay because everything might be okay in their life just does not mean to say that it's okay in everybody else's, you know?
Like you said, Terry, at the beginning, and that lot, you know, you put on a fake smile. We've all mastered that fake smile. We've all
so true. So true.
We've all mastered
we're some of the lucky ones. We're the survivors.
Me and Terry did not. Me and Terry, those people trying to stop us like connecting. Trust me, weren't they, Tez? I watched Terry's lives. I got sent it, and I'm so blessed. We spoke afterwards because we were misinformed. There's no reason for us to hate one another. It's all been piggy in the middle, bullshit and lies.
This is what I've noticed, like going back on the community side of what the magnet fishing is. You know, you've got 99% of people that want to genuinely be around each other, that want to genuinely know each other. But you've got that 1% that's massively toxic, who want to cause trouble for individuals, for groups, for businesses, for everything like that. And I ain't got time for that. You know, I ain't got time. I'm happy to, and I'm big enough and ugly enough to walk away from stuff. You know, back then when I was a kid and that lot, you know, it'd be sorted out a different way. I tell you that now. But we're adults.
It's not nowadays now, mate, because you'd end up getting a 6-inch blade stuck in your fucking gut, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
And I was the person carrying the 6-inch blade. You know, that's another aspect of my past and that lot. That it's
you're only allowed to legally carry a 3-inch blade in you. So.
Yeah, you know, I was that dickhead on the street. You all right? Do you want to say hi? All right. And Mrs. B's here.
Hello, Mrs. B. Come on the camera quickly. Say hello.
Where am I? Oh,
Hello.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm
You
good.
are an absolute gem.
I know. I have been
You
listening.
carry on, this man's rock.
You
You
little
carry on.
princess.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
I think
proud of him.
I think I found my rock now in Indy, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind one of the female variety as well. Maybe, you know, who knows what's around the corner. But
Exactly.
it's lovely seeing you two together, and
I love you guys. I love all of you.
both are, and that is just so heartwarming. It's lovely, and
Shout
can't
out
wait.
to White Welly as
Both
well.
I owe my life to this lady.
Oh,
You know, when I went through what I went through, obviously I told Mrs. B straight away, and there were 3 things that I needed to do to get all this off my shoulders, and the 3 things was that I needed to find out where these people were, I needed to tell my mum, and I needed to tell the police, and I did that at 30 years old.
Wow.
yeah.
You know, and this is why I said to people that no matter how old you are, no matter how hard it is to actually open your mouth and release it, you can still do it. You can still do it, and this is why.
You got like a 20-year. You got like a 20-year extended thingy to speak up legally as well. So if anything's bothering you, go for it.
And this is where when I went to the police and that lot, I had to tell strangers. I had to I had a video interview at 30 years old, a police video interview, a graphic police interview about what actually went on. No, and I'm bringing what's here in the back of my mind. I'm bringing it here for this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the hardest things to do, because it's always going to be here. It's always going to be in your mind.
Yeah,
but it never comes out of here.
Yeah.
It don't help when you have to continually talk to strangers about it.
No,
I mean, obviously everyone's mental illness is different, but even myself, I've been assessed by 2 psychiatric nurses, and both times it's been so hard. One of the hardest things in the world to do. And I can only imagine because of yours. I mean, mine's tragic and it's sadness and there's a lot of loss, but yours is bearing on. Well, it isn't bearing on illegality. It's bearing on it was illegal. It shouldn't have happened. And the people and the powers that be should have made sure that your voice was. Education should have took a certain way that people should have known that, no, this is not right. You're to call this person. Years and years before Childline, years and years before all these, you know, charities and that were doing things to help. And I think, you know, they've failed us, Scott, and they've failed you.
Yeah. Terry, can I just put in for legal reasons?
Yeah, go on.
You didn't play the trigger warning.
No, I didn't.
Should we quickly play? We're just going to quickly play a trigger warning just in case.
I didn't download it, Beth.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Okay.
The trigger warning, guys.
Unless it was this one.
Love you all.
See you later,
Not in any way, just to put it, we are not in any way legally advised, legally, clinically trained to direct you in a direction. All we can do, me and Terry and co, is advise you.
Yeah.
From a personal perspective, that's all we can do.
Absolutely.
And these people here, victim support, you know, these, like Mrs. B, at 30-year-old, helped me change my life.
See, that's a completely different side of mental health that's out there, you know, that I've not even thought about. And obviously there are people like yourself. I mean, it's horrible what you've told us tonight, but you're not alone. And there's probably thousands like you.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's a very good and important message for us to get out there now. If you have had anything like this happen to you in the past, please, please talk to people, get it out
Definitely.
there, get the people prosecuted. It's
I
disgusting.
for one, could put my hand up and say that not next to the level that you have, that I'm publicly comfortable with talking about, but I've been through a certain thingy that has put me in a situation where I've had to change the rest of my life plans because of someone's actions, and it's not okay. And nor should you feel like you're less worthy than something, and people can treat you a certain way or bully you online. It's not acceptable.
No, it isn't,
It
and you
costs
know,
nothing. Be kind. Literally.
everyone is different and everyone is individual, and they're, you know,
Not everyone speaks out.
but people's personalities are different, and some people just don't even realise that they're doing it, and that is why I think that Magnets and Mental Health is an avenue of educating, if not them people directly, but educating the people around them, and letting them know that, you know, before you go off it, before you do something silly, before that red mist descends, then, you know, talk, get advice. There's so many charities out there that are there for helping, and our wonderful NHS is just such an amazing organisation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is government affiliated, and, you know, as far as the government goes, Scott, I wouldn't trust any of them as far as I can throw them. But I wouldn't wish anything bad upon them, and you know, I just think things need to change. And when it comes to mental health, it looks like it's slowly happening. It's slowly starting.
And I have found out it's in the schools now. They're getting taught about grooming. You know, it's
absolutely. You know, your dad had never said that when we was at kids, when we was at school, would they? Never in a million years. It was embarrassing being in a biology lesson and having a woman teacher talking to you about female parts. It was just that part and parcel of, you know, 70s and 80s, and everything was masked and everything was like hidden. But I'm so fucking sorry to hear that happened to you, mate. And it just goes, you just don't know people's stories. You just don't know, though, do you? You don't know what's behind that mask. And
what's behind the eyes, you just don't know.
It's an absolute credit, and I think I can look at you as someone that I feel, you know, I've been in some bad places quite often, quite a lot lately, but I feel like there really is light at the end of the tunnel, and I am coming out of it. I have got so much help and support and love from within the community, and from further afield, not just the community. And, you know, my life, if my life can change with the different things that I've been through, if you can get over, well, not so much get over, but if you can feel confident and courageous enough to talk about what's happened to you, and you've done that brilliantly tonight, and I'm really proud of you, son.
I'm so
honestly, I think it proves the message that we're getting out to everyone, that, you know, it is okay not to be okay. And
it is.
You know, it's a sad part of the modern world that we live in, unfortunately.
I'll put it into context to both of you in that lot. I used to work on doing security. I used to work on the doors in Manchester. Some of the shitholes in Manchester, I've worked on there, because I know that no one can hurt me like I've been hurt.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to sound that in like a bit of a bravado way, but the jobs that I went into was always a helping job, was always a help the innocent person, help the public, help the people, because back then I did not have any help. And I think that's why I'm in the role as I am today, because I work on a psychiatric ward and I look after people that are mentally unwell, you know, and it comes to the point where you've got to have thick skin. You've got to have been through something to actually do a job like that. And it comes to a point where, you know, going back to when I used to do security, you know, I can stand and look after 200 people, but the next day I might be in bed with depression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because something's, done that.
It's
So you
chemical imbalance because of what happened to you as a child.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question?
of course,
It might be if you're too uncomfortable asking it, like answering this question,
Yeah.
sorry, then just say no. But people that are aware of what you went through, I've had a personal experience 2 or 3 times, and they know your full story. However, if they make jokes and mock you for that situation that they are aware of that you went through, is that
Yeah.
okay?
no.
No,
If
that's far
you're
from it.
uncomfortable, even if it's just a bit of banter, if you're uncomfortable with that and they're aware of that, it's not okay, is it? I feel like I've been singled out for it. So
It's if you're on a level with somebody and they know you, you know them, and then even some of the slightest little jibs and jibes and that lot can be very, very disrespectful and hurtful to the point where you might look at that person and think, you're a dick.
yeah,
And yes, we might know each other for ages, but why would you say something like that? Why would
Yeah.
you do something like that? I'm obviously not respected in your eyes. Now, being respectful to somebody, has always been one of my fortes of growing up and that. Like, yes, I have been respectful to people, and I've been brought up old school, respect manners, please and thank you, and get up when the bus is full. Let someone else. My legs are okay. I'm younger. Get someone else to sit down. I've always been that
always
person
stand up.
brought
Yeah,
up, and these days, people's interpretation of manners and respect is absolutely crude.
they cost nothing.
No, it doesn't. No.
It takes
Politeness.
a day.
It doesn't. It costs nothing. It's
But
a lack of
even
intelligence. I feel that
when
if you can't
people,
be go on.
yeah, even people on that are writing stuff and that lot, get a grip of yourself. Do you know what I mean? What you're doing is, you've got your bullying and you've got your indirect bullying. Whether you think it's funny, that other person doesn't, and for them to actually do that in a heinous way to you is downright disrespectful. And nobody on this planet should feel like that they're getting crushed off some person who thinks it's funny, for starters, who acts on it, who keeps doing it, and it comes to a point where if people are seeing this and accepting it all the time, they're just as bad as the people that are doing it.
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
you ever feel like you're in that position, please contact your local police station, because if you dial that number, you don't have to make a report, you can access free advice. They will advise you in the best direction in which to do. And I've done that recently and they've helped me a hell of a lot. Trust me now. You feel
It's
uncomfortable with anything, contact them.
Like victim support back when
Yeah, they're amazing.
I was 30-year-old. That was 2010. The progression that's gone through to victim support now, you can have a live chat with somebody online. Everyone more or less on the planet's got a smartphone or a tablet, and they've got that advice at their fingertips. The biggest thing about mental health to me was admitting I had a problem. That is the biggest mountain that you'll ever climb. Everything else, apart from climbing that vast mountain of accepting what's happened, accepting you're never going to be alone with that. There's always other people that's been through it, and accepting the fact that there are people out there that will help you. These are the points that I try to get through to people when I speak to them personally, because my phone is always on. And obviously my confidentiality, is 100%. And
always.
And I know people have reached out to me because their heads popped, or I've reached out to them. My friends, some of my friends, know what's gone on in my past. Some of them don't. Do you know? But it's got to be on that level where I think it's okay to say something. I mean, that's why I'm comfortable speaking about the past now, because 10 years ago, no chance, because I didn't want anyone to know, because I thought people would look at me differently because I had an issue. I had a mental, because what I got diagnosed with in 2010, when I went through all this, I had to go see a counsellor, and I had two counsellors. I had a private counsellor and I had an NHS counsellor. And this is after that I divulged to the police, I divulged to my mum, and I found out where these two people was, and obviously told the police about it. And that just lifted right off my shoulders. But what it did, it sent me into a bit of a spiral, because getting all that you've carried around with you for years and years and years off your shoulders, it was a bit hard to get through. But you know what? I 100% would recommend it to people, because I can walk around with my head held high. I don't look at myself as, you know, or someone's little plaything that was for 3 years and that lot. I look at myself and I'm a better person than them.
And you was a victim.
Yeah.
You know, it certainly wasn't brought on by yourself, and it was not your actions. You know what I mean? You was not at an age where you could actually make them decisions for yourself. So,
and it comes down to it, Terry, where, you know, people do think, well, was it all me? Was it me that instigated this? Was it? No, you're a child, and that person is an adult. You know, no matter which way you dress it up, that person is in the wrong. And you was vulnerable because I was in a broken home. You know, I wasn't getting on with my mum, and there was signs there where these people, these predators, look out for and think, you know what? Yeah, you know, I might be able to get in there. I might be able to manipulate this situation to suit me, in a dirty manner, and that's what these people do. But it's making sure that you are willing to participate in obviously what comes your way. I mean, the counselling side of it, yes, I had to open up again, but then it come to a point where not many people know this, but I don't mind saying it. I had a crisis team where, and this was in my late 30s, where I had a crisis team visiting me every day because of all this that had been lifted off my shoulders. You know, it comes to a point where that was my life that I'm letting go.
Yeah.
You know, and then starting afresh. That's the way I look at it.
But the crisis team, I mean, they've helped me on two separate occasions now, and they're still a massive part of my life. But it just shows you that no matter what mental illness that you might have gone through, or what demons you might be going through your head, or what, you know, wrongs have happened in your lifetime, the crisis team is there to help. I did hear from someone today that said that the crisis is struggling, and he's in a bad way, and he took my advice and he dialed 111 and he contacted the crisis team, and then he contacted me half hour later to say they've wiped their hands of me, they want nothing to do with me, they tell me I've got no reason to feel like this. And I won't mention your name, brother, but at the end of the day, the crisis team would never say that. They would never say that.
Never.
You've got to be
They'll
honest.
put you in the hands of a charity.
So honest with how you feel. You can't, you know, you can't iron over the cracks. The cracks appear and they get worse and worse and worse. And what I've found out in my own personal circumstance is by talking about it, by bringing up these things that have just been eating away at you for years and years and years, by talking about them, then they become an obstacle. And once they become an obstacle, you can get over an obstacle. So, you know, it's all I can do is just trying to tell everyone that, you know, it is okay not to be okay. We are suffering. So many of us are suffering. Please reach out to respective charities. Please look at our Facebook group.
We've got a pinned message of all the UK charities, just a few of them, not all of them. Google's a big
Yeah, and we will be adding more on there. It's been quite a busy, hectic time at the moment for me and Beth. What we're building up the
We
magnets.
struggle daily ourselves, and Samaritans actually have an online chat. There's like a waiting at most 5 minutes, and they will advise you on any issue.
Yeah, you can tell them anything, even if you've got a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction, you're being abused.
Autism, anything.
Same with victim support. They've got live chats now. Back then they didn't, and you don't have to have gone to the police to actually speak to victim support. You know, so I mean they've been going for 40 years plus. You know, and they have helped me massively to the point where I ended up working for them for 2 years.
Wow.
You know, that's the you know, full circle for me.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
They help me, I help people.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, Scott. I didn't
All
even know.
All I can say is, in my part in this, I'm not comfortable with people knowing that there are certain people amongst the community and pushing them that little bit further when you're fully aware of what they're going through. And if you continue to do so, then that becomes then almost an illegal offence, and it's not illegal, it's inhumane. You should not push someone further. You should support them, put your own personal things aside, bite the bullet, especially if you're over, a certain age. Grow up, help people.
Regardless, they could have their. Well, we know that they've got their own mental issues also.
Be understanding, open-minded.
Yes, and that is it. Perfect. And
it could be your child or family member one day. So just be open to it.
Yeah.
You've got to be humble. You've got to be humble, respectful, and you've got to appreciate what you have to the point where if you decide to try and ruin somebody's life for shits and gigs or whatever the aspect of why you're doing it, it could come back on you tenfold within 5 minutes, and who's going to be there for you? Who's going to be there for you?
No,
exactly.
It's an important message.
That's why I've got a lot of respect for you both, because Scotty helped me in the time when I thought the people around me were good, and not personal opinion, they weren't good for my mental health. And I saw past that, and you saw no judgment in my actions, and I saw past I lived my entire life thinking that every action or thought that I had was negative, because that's what I was told, when really I look at it and it wasn't. It was the truth, and it was pure, and it was for the better. I'm the kind of person that will speak up if someone's getting beat up and be like, hang on, that's not right. I'll say something. And you help me see that.
Yeah, exactly. And if you might be that one person that will help that person who hasn't been helped in weeks, months, years, you might be that one person that they come across in their life who puts them on that bit of a straight and narrow. And for somebody to put somebody down, they mustn't be in the right place as well.
Yeah.
That's all I can say on that matter, because
absolutely, no, they can't be.
They can't be in the right place to do that. They're obviously deflecting something going on with themselves to actually cause that person to feel like the rubbish, the worthless, and that they shouldn't be around. And that in itself is hurtful and harmful to see. Because what you're doing there is you're hurting yourself just for the fact of hurting others.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
I mean, the reason Peter hardly ever comes online anymore, he doesn't really interact with any of our community on Essex Magnet Hunters. It was just he felt like once upon a time that he was he was building bridges with people, and then all of a sudden them bridges just come crashing down, and they proved through their own selfishness that they really didn't give a shit about anyone but themselves. And to this day, they've still never asked how he was. But unfortunately, lucky for me, if you can call it luck, but, suffering with mental health and having so much time on my hands, I still put Essex Magnet Hunters out there. And I've just continued to do what I think I can do for the best, for us, for the channel, and now for you guys also, for the community as a whole. And let's grow this. Let's grow this message of awareness, and you know, let's all start to be kind to one another. We've all said, you know, that we're not proud of, but we can draw a line. We can draw a line, and it needs to stop now. Now it needs to stop. You know, even if people are watching this and they don't agree with it, or don't agree with certain segments of it, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You know, and it's how they voice it. Now, I'm a strong believer, and you should practice what you preach. In that, if you've got a problem with someone, it's best to go to them. Now, sometimes that red mist can descend, and you might do something that you later regret. It happened to me recently, but then I went to the person. We had a lovely chat. I had no idea what was going on in his personal life at the time. I don't think he knew much about me, and we had a lovely chat, and we aired it. And now we have mutual respect for one another. Yeah. And that's something we didn't have before I went and saw him, you know, not face to face, but messenger, direct message, away from public eyes. And I think that's what's happened.
That one word, respect, that's all it takes. You know, it's 50-50 with somebody. You can't put 90% into somebody and only get 10% back. You know, it's got to work both ways, because it comes to a point where, you know, you're never going to waste your time with somebody, because that's a harsh thing to say, because to me, everyone's worthy of your time as well. And vice versa, they're worthy of your time. But when I look at both of you two and individually, how you've basically been rock bottom, and what you've done is you've built yourself back up to the point where, obviously, Terry, where you've been doing your lives, and you know, you was in a very, very, very dark hole, you know, and gradually you found that little ladder, and you've seen the sunlight, and you think, you know what, I'm going to climb this. And bit by bit, whether it takes daily, whether it takes a second, you have climbed. And what you're doing is you're trying to reach out and think, you know what, I do not want to be in this hole anymore. Indies come along and obviously boosted you massively, you know. And Indy, you know, what pets can do as well is show you love that sometimes humans can't. You know, and have that comfort knowing that you are actually you are saving Indy is saving you. But Indy come along at the right time for you, Terry, and doing your lives come at the right time for you. And with you, Beth, as well, you know, I know that a lot of things have gone on in the past, a lot of things, you know, what people have said, what people have I've heard Chinese whispers here, there, and everywhere. We all have. You know, we've all heard something to do with Beth, whether it be right or wrong, true or false.
Just some bullshit.
We've all heard it. And for you to actually come online and actually mention about your addiction that you had, you know, that's something that's private to you, and something that you are willing to talk about. Same with Terry, to do with like the mental health side of it. And what you've got to both look at each other now is, you know, we are proud of what we do and say, because nobody is going to ever make us be in that hole again, ever.
Never.
You know, we're on the way up. Well, you on the way up, and there's never going back down. Yes, we might take a couple of steps down the ladder.
Or trip up.
Yeah, but we're never going to be lay on that floor of that dark hole again. You know, and that's my ethos in life since, you know, 15 years old. Nobody is going to treat me like that person did, and never will. And even when I get an inkling of someone trying to do the controlling situation and that lot, I get back off. You know, I don't want to know.
You'd read it a mile off now. You know what I mean? And that
and
is
you've both
the
got to
beauty.
be proud of yourself. You've both got to be proud of yourself of what you've achieved.
Thank you, Scotty. Same goes to you. All I can say is I've blocked and removed any issue and kept it. You know, there's a lot I could speak on right now, but I'm better than that. We all are. We all are.
Yeah,
It's not worth it.
You remember that.
And
You
for
remember
you guys to do this and actually look at the fact of how you've interlinked the mental health to that to the magnificent community, which a lot of people do
Yeah.
talk about. A lot of people suffer out there on them canal sides. A lot of people have
Yeah.
had a shit morning, but do you know what? Gone out onto that canal side, met a few people, had a really good laugh, and do you know what? They
Absolutely.
think, I am glad I
Yeah.
went there. I am glad I
Yeah.
said today is going to be a good day.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is what is wonderful about this lovely hobby of ours.
Yeah.
And there has been some communication regarding the Magnificent Committee. It is still behind closed doors, but obviously I am a committee member, and all I can say is that the future for Magnificent is looking rosy. It's looking rosy. So so let's hope that the best intentions for this Magnificent Committee goes forward, and that the hobby thrives from it, because we are going to be helping future generations, not our own. We're helping our own mental and physical well-being, but at the same time, we're helping wildlife. We're helping future generations, whether they're being human, insects, nature, and doing our bit for the environment at the same time. And I'm nearly 50. I'm 48 in 3 weeks' time, and I'm 2 years away from being 50, and I haven't always lived the best of lives. And I had a fantastic marriage to the most beautiful woman in the world, and I threw it away after 11 beautiful, wonderful years. And all I've ever done is try to be begged for forgiveness, and it's still not coming. But if I can show the world, and I can show other people from afar, that I am such a better person than what I ever used to be.
Amazing.
And now I've always had a good heart, but I've always kept it in. I've always felt sorry for people, but without actually talking about it. Whereas now I feel like I've got a volume. I feel like I've got a voice, and people are listening.
Never lose that. Never lose it.
It's doing me the world of good, Scott. It really is. And long may it continue. Let's hope it's a prosperous future for all of us.
No, 100%. Yeah, 100%. You've got the way I look at every single day is, and I go to bed on a positive and I wake up on a positive, right? Because tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's a brand new day of just being happy and actually respectful, and actually just looking around and seeing, you know what I've got is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice philosophy to have.
Yeah,
and something I hope to thrive on in the future. Fingers crossed.
It does take time, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I say to people. If you end your day on a nice positive, start a day on a positive, in between, we'll get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. I mean, 99% of the time, I feel like I'm titanium, and then that one little thing can happen and turn me into tissue paper. And
that's reflection.
It's the demons, isn't it? But no, I'm not in as bad a place as I was. I am in a much, much better place. There's so many more positives happening.
Yeah.
One extremely close to my heart that I'd love to talk about, but I've been asked not to, so I'm not going to talk about that. But he did say maybe for another day. So there will be in the future where I'm going to be, I'm really going to be pouring my heart out even more as to what's happened and what have you. And but yeah, if everyone can just keep us all in your prayers, pray for everyone, and everyone can just get along with everyone. If you can't get along, be polite, be courteous, and be friendly, and that's all you can ask in this lifetime, and that's what we want. That's what we want to hear. And I've tried to bring the community together on many occasions, and it's just there's always going to be this element of a them and us. And unfortunately, I think my own personal my own personal thoughts on the matter is that it's like it can literally be caused by one person or one marketing procedure or little triggers, and it can make you just feel goddamn awful. And when you've got real things to feel awful about, and then other little things like that you shouldn't even bat an eyelid, but they bring you down so far
Yeah.
that's when you know that you know you've got to start telling people their behaviour is incorrect and it's time to
Yeah.
correct it. So come on, everyone, let's all muck together. Let's all
Yeah.
get along, and let's make this hobby, you know, as amazing as we all know that it already is. So, but no, that's been
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You've gone a bit past your time, son. You said you had company coming tonight. Was he only expecting you up for a little while? Wonderful.
They're downstairs now. They've been here for about half an hour, but it don't matter.
We need to get you on again, Scotty, because
100%. I'm an open book.
we love you.
To
We love you and support you.
everything. You know, if people want to ask me something, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm an open book. It comes to
Patriot
a point where, yeah, if I can spread awareness like you guys, I will do.
And you do, and we all do in our own different way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so proud of what you've come on and said tonight, Scott. I had
Thank you.
no idea to the extent. I really don't, and it kind of puts your own personal problems into perspective, doesn't it? And
But at the same time, it will help other people. And I, for one,
And that's what
I've
it's all
got
about.
a set of things I want to speak on, and I have massive respect for you before I even knew any of that.
Yeah.
Because of how you are as a person, how you and Mrs. B carry yourselves. But good on you.
Yeah.
And
You
another
helped
thing
me.
as well, I've always gone through the aspect of if someone's got a problem with myself, if I've wronged somebody in any way, and they're not willing to tell me about it, then that's their problem. It ain't mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very
It's
true.
everything.
You know,
Very true.
and that's the way
No,
it is.
it is.
Just got to end it on a positive every time. Every time, what you do is end on a positive and then start on a positive the next day. That's advice I can
Amen.
give you as well.
And it's advice that I will
Definitely.
take on board sometime. That's absolutely brilliant advice. And I do apologise, everyone. We've had hundreds of comments and haven't even had a chance to look at any.
I've done my best. My
Well
ADHD took a hold a few times, but I did my best. I kept telling people we loved them.
Well,
And thank you for having me on as well. Yeah.
No problem. No problem at all. We'll get you on soon again, Scotty. 100%.
As people know, you know, my messenger's always open. You know, my phone's always on. Even if you have a question or you want to rant, you want to cry, it's always there. It's always on for people that are genuine and are struggling.
Yeah.
And even magnet fishing orientated questions, there's no one better to go to than Scotty. I promise you. You know, he's very knowledgeable. He's been doing it a long time, a lot longer than a lot of us. And you know, I look up to you, Scott. And
So do
I just feel that, you know, if I can be classed in the same book as yourself, then I'm doing something right.
We need more people to be more like you and Terry.
Yeah.
No, it has been.
Thank you again. Anyway, much appreciated.
You're always welcome. Thank you for joining us.
You're more than welcome, mate. Do you want me to take you out of the chat?
Yep, I will have to go. So thank you, everybody. Sorry, I've not read any comments. I can't see them on my phone, but
make sure you give him a subscribe. Patriot Magnets on YouTube. Please drop him a subscribe. And TikTok. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, Scott,
thank you very much.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Cheers.
Wow. What a guy.
I weren't expecting that. I mean, what an individual and what a story.
It's incredible.
And it really does bring it. It really does bring it home to me that, you know, I'm not been crying over spilt milk.
No.
You know, some of what I've done has been deserved, but a hell of a lot of it hasn't. And I've held my hands up to all that ever has been.
You no longer, you don't need to be tortured for one mistake.
No, and when you hear a story like, you know, what a wonderful man, and to think that he went through such hardship as a kid, lost a lot of his youth growing up, no doubt.
Can I just interrupt and just say that goes to show, do not prejudge people because you do not know their full story, nor do you or should you have entitlement to know their full story. People keep things quiet, so just remember that. Yeah,
and like, you know, regarding the community, if you hear and people are talking about me and Beth behind our backs, let them. I don't want to know. Beth don't want to know.
I don't care.
Use your
Says a
own
lot about
judgment,
the person.
because if you do hear things, then you know that they're the people that are doing the talking. We're the ones that are not. And like I said, Pete is barely in the hobby anymore because how bad he was made to feel. And he did hit rock bottom, but luckily 6 months later, he's now on the mend, and the relationship is repairing.
That's what matters.
So that's wonderful. That's brilliant. Adam, I'd like to do a little shout out to Adam. Obviously, a lot of people know him as Root Rucks Off, but he's been going through a tough time at the moment, like myself, like a lot of us. And I just wanted to say your name and to say how much I love you, son. And
I've not met you yet, but I love you because I know Terry Cruz.
We can't wait for you to come back out on a hunt with us, Adam. So hurry up and get better. But at the same time, there is no time limit. You're part of us, and you always will be. You're in both mine and Pete's heart. So you take care, brother, and we'll see you soon. But yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look at some of these. God, blimey!
Can you see them?
There's just so many. It's unbelievable.
We love you. I keep saying in the comments, because there's that many people. We love you all dearly, and if you are suffering, don't do it in silence. Please hit the Magnets and Mental Health Facebook page, and there is a link pinned at the top for all the mental health charities if you're ever in crisis. We can't deliver 24 hours a day because obviously I'm alone. I'm mum and dad rolled into one, and I have a very hectic job.
Absolutely, you don't know what we might be doing when you text us, and I would so much rather you dialed 111, because if you feel like you really want to talk to me and you really want to reach out to me, but I might be busy or have the phone on silent or be doing
suffering yourself.
And at the end of the day, if it takes 30 minutes for me to answer, I'd rather you talk, especially if you feel that bad. If you feel that bad that something bad is going to happen, and you no longer want to be on this mortal coil, please dial 111. Tell them you're in crisis.
Or Samaritans.
Do what they can to help. Yeah, Samaritans as a close number 2, but I would still put 111 at the very top, because it is something we need to be proud of in the UK, and that is our wonderful NHS service. And it has helped me streets and bounds. And just being kind and just being kind and being careful and being loving. I've been shown so much of them emotions lately, and I'm now starting to show them back to people.
Yeah, but Terry, come on, you're amazing.
I didn't think, Beth, that I could show them emotions again. I didn't.
You're an amazing human. Yeah, but you don't realise how amazing of a human being you are. I mean, we were told we were poisoned. We had a piggy in the middle telling us absolute lies and bullshit, to put it honestly, about one another, and people slagging us off between us both, and we never even met, and we actually got to the root of the problem. I've got nothing. I've publicly got nothing to forgive Terry for, and I'm the one thing that I would take back is I wish I had got to know you.
Loyalty. My loyalty lied elsewhere at the time, and now looking back, hindsight is a wonderful thing. My loyalty was wrong, and we spoke, and I apologized. And look at us now. We've moved on from it. We've become good friends from it.
I've got a brother.
I value your advice, and I like to think that you value mine also. So
of course I do. I love you, brother. You keep it real 100. We need more people like you in the world.
Bless you, darling. But it is, I'm just reading some of the comments here.
It's okay.
Don't believe everything rumours you hear from people. You never know what happens behind closed doors unless you've lived. Don't judge. Sophie,
we've seen a lot behind closed doors, haven't we, Tez? So that's very true.
Oh, Claire and Paul are in the room as well. Love you guys. Honestly, I love you all. There's so many here, it's unbelievable. But we've got Sophie, we've got Claire, we've got the Slack Clan, we've got Top Ball, we've got Sophie again, we've got Gerd, We've got Dave. We've got Claire again. Dave again. Gerd again. Sonic. Top ball. Gerd. Michelle. How you doing, Michelle? One of my loveliest friends and supporters.
Shout out to my family that are watching as well.
Hannah's watching. I hope Andrew's
like and subscribe.
Yeah, give them a follow if you could, people, because they are lovely people.
Amazing.
Guna Ali, that's funny. Guna Ali is in the room now. He's commented on every single one of our videos in the past.
And mine as well.
Isn't that weird? I don't know how he found us. He found us through something, and he's an Arsenal supporter like Pete. But he put on a comment yesterday saying how West Ham had just won because he knows I'm staunch.
He's on it.
He seems like he's a lovely guy. He comes out with some funny comments. Keep doing what you're doing, Guna Ali, because you're a valued member of our community. You really are.
One thing: do not auto-correct certain people on my comments because they get wound up. Some of us have dyslexia, and he's been auto-correcting them, and then I get a message with an angry response.
I've just heard fireworks. And
it's all shits and giggles, though. Happy Diwali to any of my supporters. I hope you have a wonderful Diwali.
What is Diwali? Is it? It's
the Indian. Let me Google it so I don't get it wrong. It's a Indian celebration. I've got a lot of friends and family members.
Do you know I've got to go across the road right before co-op shuts at 10.
Take us with you. Take us with you.
Dress like this.
Tej, you know, yesterday I practiced my makeup and I was on a TikTok live. My pharmacist dropped my antidepressants off whilst I was this.
Well, funny you should say that. When I was just finishing the makeup, I'm sitting on my bed and I'm doing all the makeup. All of a sudden, there's a knock at my back door, and it's Indy's old parents coming round to drop off some food.
Aww.
It's me sitting on the bed with a Joker's fucking head on. And they thought that was
on a Sunday. So just to interrupt, Diwali is a Hindu festival with lights and fireworks held in the period of October to November, and it's associated with Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity. So anyone that is watching or maybe watching, happy Diwali to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Diwali. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, you smashed it.
There you go.
I want to see you go to the cart now with your makeup on.
I think it's turning my teeth pink as well.
I know, mine. I've put a thingy on my teeth anyway because Harley Quinn's teeth ain't perfect. So
the thing is, there's loads of pubs around here, and they've all got fancy dress tonight.
Oh, you bingo, win-win.
It's all the young element that go to them, but yeah, Pete, I'll walk in there. They'll just think I've come from a pub, wouldn't they? But it's starting to itch, and my hair feels like I've put 1 billion ton of lacquer on it.
Yeah, but I think I think your hair looks amazing with that green in it.
I think the hair looks actually very, very close to what he looked like in the last film.
I like it.
It wasn't red; it was pink. So I had to make do with what I had.
Good. You did good.
And I had to have a clean shave, so roll on another 2 weeks, and I can have my beard back. Now Indy's barking because she can hear fireworks.
Is it walk time for Indy?
No, it's fireworks. It's fireworks.
Oh, you bless her.
Look, what's this? Look.
Oh no!
How many fireworks, darling?
You want to put the radio on or the TV for her, Indy?
Hey.
Hello. Oh look. She's so pretty.
Right, so shall we end this one here, Beth? Do you think?
Yeah. See you guys in the next 2 weeks.
Lovely. Yes, everyone. You've had to wait 4 weeks for this next one, but we did say to you regarding on how well the first one went. It went very well. So let's see if this one goes as well. If it does, we're going to be back every 2 weeks. A new special guest every fortnight. So your continued support would be absolutely amazing. We
We
love
love
you
you
guys.
all.
We really do love you, and
We do.
and take care, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Happy Halloween.
Took in a little bit of the advice, you know, that we've given and that Scotty B has given, and
Definitely.
just you know, if you're out tomorrow, shift your scrap, do us all a favour, and yeah, I'd like to leave it at that. So if it's all right with you, Beth, we'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah. Remember, it costs nothing to be kind. See you on the
Absolutely.
side. Love you all.
Take care, everyone. Mwah, mwah.
Bye,
See you later,
Claire.
people. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.